Imagine a spiritual pathway that addresses your physical health, emotional frequency, mental clarity, and spiritual well-being, all in perfect harmony. This isn't just an ideal. It's the comprehensive nature of the Goddess Emergence show with Dr. Brie Gibbs, a spiritual leader, healer, and trance medium, who alongside of Goddess Bell, the creator, and other masters will share information never before released on the planet to help guide and evolve humanity, and along the way, heal the 4 dimensions of body, emotions, mind, and spirituality. This show is about true spirituality, offering a new earth narrative and effective path to well-being as it accelerates the journey of our spiritual evolution to keep pace in this rapidly changing world. Get ready to emerge the goddess within each of us, both the feminine and the masculine. If you have any questions about yourself that you have no answers to, this is the show for you. Let's emerge together and emerge better. Now here is your host, Dr. Brie Gibbs.
Welcome, everyone. Today is going to be a different type of show. When is nurturing enough? And how much harm are we causing ourselves if we over-nurture someone? Many of us nurture as teachers, corporate leaders, so many different levels. As a goddess, we nurture. And let me explain that right now. As a goddess, it is not a physical nurturing. It's a mental nurturing. It's not someone you touch. It's giving them knowledge and loving that they may not have from others. But even as goddesses, as an entwined goddess, what happens is we give and give and give, and we forget about taking care of ourselves. So on our last program, we talked about energy work and reclaiming the energy. And this is the last part of it. The thing is that when we overextend ourselves, we forget to take care of ourselves. And I've been guilty of that. And I had paid the price for it. Right now, I'm working on something that I need to change real quick in me. And I'm sure, Teresa, you understand that,
Yes. Sometimes we learn that kind of the hard way, don't we?
Yeah. And I definitely got a hard message the last couple of days and this morning. But the thing about it is what I want to talk about right now. When we do this, the damage that we cause to ourselves without even realizing it, I reclaimed the energy, brought the energy back into me. But did it leave me mentally? No.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I did all parts, the physical, the emotional, the mental, spiritual. And it's still there. And I go, why is it still there? Am I not eating right? Am I not taking care of myself? What's going on? And then to find out it had nothing to do with my eating. I couldn't give up on certain things. It's like, nope, I gotta fix it no matter what the situation is. That person was wrong. I need to make it right for myself. And you know what? When it came right down to it, it caused me more harm than good. So what do you think, Teresa?
I think you step back and you start looking at, well, for me, I went and looked at the various definitions of nurturing. And I said,
Right.
well, what does that really mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I came up with something or someone that you help grow or develop or succeed without harming yourself. So
Right.
I kind of use that as a little tool for me to make sure I'm not crossing over a very thin line that you sometimes don't know you're doing.
Right. And that's really good what you looked at because it's very true. So let's get to this program right now. The thing is that when you finally realize that you have nurtured a person enough, you don't have to let go of that person. You just have to step back and look, okay, what have you done to yourself now? Take a break. Read a good book, whatever, just something to step back, me and my hot baths or walk out in the yard or whatever I can do, right, to make me feel better. But the damage and the cause and effect of this and overextending yourself, and that's with anyone we're going to talk about today. So let's get started with this. I'm going to go to my notes real quick. All right. So when it truly means to nurture someone is guiding them. And that's all we are, guides as spiritual leaders. Now, this is, like I said, not just for spiritual leaders. So let's say you have a friend that's an author and she's asking you a lot of questions. Okay, like, I ask you questions, right? And I'll say, well, what do you think about this, this, and this? And you give me your ideas. That's a form of nurturing. And after that's done, you pull yourself back, you pull your energy back, and we're done, right? Well, does it get stuck in the cellular memory? Is the next question. Of course it does. And then what do you have to do? We have to go in and clean out the file and filter again, clean out our filters and bring it back in another way so it does not harm us. The cause and effect of this program, I call it a program because literally it's a programming that we put into the cellular memory. So as we do this, and the program's sitting in there, we have to carefully filter every word we say. Some people text a lot, and I've been texting a lot lately, right? Okay, so, and every word I notice I put in, some of those words I wish I had never put in the texts because they don't come out right. Well, it's not like I'm sitting in here typing up a book, right? Because you put yourself in that normal zone. But when you text, it's like, am I saying this right? Nope, that came out wrong. Do you get what I mean?
I do. You miss a lot of nuances when you're not talking either on the phone or face to face, and not even aware of the nuances you have that the written word just doesn't have.
Right. And so every written word is a serious meaning, though.
Yes.
And so I've noticed that even things I've said to you on text, right, didn't come out right. And I call you and say, that's not what I meant. So that's in the programming, and that's something that I have to change with myself and to heal it again. So that's working on the physical, the emotional, mental, and spiritual parts of me. And so let's say, how can we control our actions? By not overextending our energy. Not overextending our, how I say this, not overextending our emotional energy also. So you're adding the physical, the emotional, and the mental. And when you overextend the mental part of you, and you don't bring it back, that's harming yourself. And, I don't want to see people doing that. And so we have to let them go on their own journey, life path, whatever you want to call it. And you and we have our own, Our producer today, Jessica, she has her own. And we can give advice, but we have to say, okay, now that's enough. When can we just be us? And that's the one thing that a very special guide gave me. I today, me tomorrow, myself thereafter. So the I would be for right now. The me, how I'll be tomorrow. And the myself that then after, the next day. So every day is a new journey of who you are. It doesn't mean you have to change your clothes or how you act or whatever, but the inside, the hope and the love that you have for yourself and how we have to care ourselves and not give up. I had told somebody that love is the greatest defense you could have against anything. So there's a situation that I'd love to go and meet somebody and give them a big old hug and say, welcome to meeting a goddess and that we all love you. Of course, I can't do that, but it's something I want to do. And why would I want to do something like that, Teresa?
Because that's just part of when you're filled with love. It's just such a natural, nurturing instinct. It's just a natural thing to do, I think, for many goddesses.
Yes. It doesn't matter if you're incarnate
Doesn't
gods.
make any difference.
It doesn't matter about that. Once you know that you've been a goddess and in past life, you're always a goddess no matter what.
Right.
But and they see us in this physical form on the third dimensional level where we actually intelligent one, not intelligence, but in our, cellular memory, we hold it there. As we hold it there, it's like, why can't we hug this person? And people look at us, we're like, you want to hug me? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with this lady, right? It's like, but we can't do that with everyone. We know that there's boundaries that we have to follow. The other thing is, can we change another's journey? No, we can only help them see what they can do for themselves. And it's kind of sad that we can't help them change it and take them by the hand, but it's not our place. All we can do is guide them. And that's including the thing with clients or other people, friends, coworkers, whatever. There's times I have to say, okay, I've given what I can. Now it's up to you. And that's a big step where I'm at right now today, where I'm having to take control of my life and say, okay, I've given what I can. I need to rest for a while. So I can come back here in a couple of weeks and do another show.
Yeah.
And so it's not something I like to say, admit, but we're all about truth here. And I'd rather just be raw and open and say, I need a break. I've been instructed to take a break actually by one of my guys, and this is an emotional show today. I'll just admit it right now. This is very emotional that I'm having to say I need to take a break. We're supposed to be strong. They look at us. We're not supposed to have flaws. We're not supposed to, have all these emotions. When they look at us on the radio, well, I'm sorry. I have all those. I'm human. I'm just like everybody else. And so, but at the same time, I'm trying to look at the better part of things on why this break is necessary. And so we have 2 minutes before the break that we're going to take it. I'm going to take a drink of water and breathe. And I'm going to say in the meantime, Teresa, what do you think about what I just said?
Well, we've done a couple shows on balancing. Well, what I take away from that and what I've been, using for myself and to your comment, we all have vulnerabilities. I mean, we're not perfect. That's what makes us kind of more fun.
No kidding.
Perfection is only good if you certain areas, but I've started to look at what I do in the context of balancing. And when I do that and I put that perspective on it, I come up with a whole different thing. And what I've come up with is, wow, I can begin to see what I would call my patterns of harm. I can really see them. I can see them physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually in all those categories. Now, the key is what do I do about it? Where's my tool set to help me when I'm caught in one of those loops? And I think that's sort of where I kind of find myself sometimes. And it's very hard when you are very close to someone. Like you and I are best friends.
Right.
We have very close family members that lean on us. And people tend to lean on us quite a bit and call and ask for help. So this tool set, I think, is that you're sharing is invaluable as we go forward.
Right. So we call it a tool set. And it's like imagine a big old guys do their cars with tools in, what are they called?
Yeah, a toolbox.
A toolbox, there you go.
Yeah.
The five layer one I have, right?
This
It's in
is
that
the first
5-layer
layer.
one. It's like a layer.
That give me my initial tools.
Right. Where are they all at? I mean, yeah, I could go over there and grab my crystals and say, okay, this is one I'm going to use today, but that's not what I need right now.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm having to clean out all of the filters, all of the files in our head. and clean that out. We're going to take a quick break, be right back, and see you on the next segment. Welcome back, everyone. So we're going to get raw and real here. Today, I woke up knowing that if I don't slow down, I'll have another stroke. Many of you know that I've had a couple of strokes. That opened my eyes to some things. It's not something I'm proud to say right now, but I might just call this is the raw and real show right now. We were talking about during the break with Jessica, and it really is. So, what do I have to do, you think, Teresa, right now for myself?
I think you have to step back, take a break, do some breathing, and give yourself some time away from everything.
Right.
Oh, a well-earned break,
Yeah.
no matter how many days that is, whatever
Yeah.
that's about to be, right? You
Just
will
a few
know.
days. It'll be a few days, but the one thing is right now, all my guides are with me right now, and they know what I'm going through. So I really appreciate that. And I have to say that right now. If I didn't have them, I wonder if I'd even be on today. It was emotional. But the thing about it is finding out that if I don't slow down and start taking care of myself properly, that could happen. If that happens, I'm gone off the planet. I'm not ready to leave yet. It's not my time. And the only one that can decide that is Creator. Until I'm told it's my time, I'm going to fight as hard as I can to do my journey, to do this job I've been asked to do, to help people through the great shift of consciousness. And a lot of people don't understand what the great shift of consciousness is. And right now, what I say is if you just Google the great shift of consciousness and look for Kahu Fred Sterling's book, he was in Hawaii, on Oahu, as a spiritual mentor of mine. You can find his books on eBay. That book is amazing because it explains in the depth what we are going through right now.
Mm-hmm.
And as we shift into this new light, is how I'm going to say it,
Mm-hmm.
it's reducing a lot of negativity and it will shrink it down some. And that's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
And going into further into the dimensions that we're headed for. So right now we're in the third dimensional planet where all the chaos is happening right now. And we want to change it, but changing it means changing one heart at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So if I look at, let's just say, um, I'll just use Teresa. I'm sorry because you're the only person I can use right now. I
Oh,
don't
good.
have permission from
That's
anybody else.
you always
If
have
I,
permission.
oh well, thank you. So if I would say, okay,
Mm-hmm.
what you're told earlier was wrong, by the way, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, That's something now you have to reset your mindset pattern at knowing that was information that should never been given to you,
Mm-hmm.
not used,
Mm-hmm.
and now you have to release it somehow, and that's gonna take work.
Mm-hmm. Takes an awareness. And then
Yes.
you go, oh, I'm sorry, using my little term I'm using with myself that is patterns of harm. It's like, oops, that's a mental one. And you can get in a loop on that. It's not just
Mm-hmm.
physical stuff, but it's kind of a mix between emotional and mental.
Right.
And it's like if you don't know how to get out of that, you literally can make yourself sick.
Right.
Yeah,
And so it is, and it is a loop, by the way.
it is a loop.
So when you're having the physical, the emotional, mental, and
Mm-hmm.
it's all hitting in one thing at
Right.
one time. So I've got the physical, the emotional, mental hitting. It's a constant loop. It's like my J bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, guys, right there. It's like a bracelet. It's a loop you're in, and finally you have to just kind of cut the loop
Mm-hmm.
and break it apart and say, okay, look at it, and then dissipate it.
Mm-hmm.
Send it out in the atmosphere with love and light and just everything I turn into sparkles, right? Sparkles, and that's why I say when I'm done with healing stuff for my hands, don't take in the energy and return my own energy back to me. Sparkles, because I'm not wanting to send out the energy with any harm. I want it out there with love.
Right.
And so you're right about the loop. And so what's the best way to get out of it, you think, then besides that? You're taking that one step to
Yeah,
release it,
sometimes I get so exhausted, it just there's nowhere to go but up, right? It's,
right?
it's like that in itself kind of breaks things, or you get this aha moment of awareness that says, I need to quit. Or it's like, well, wait a minute, what am I doing here? Well, that's not true. What do I need to do? I need to release it,
Right,
So for me, it started with just an awareness, but sometimes awareness comes really late in the game.
right.
Sometimes you can catch it really fast.
Hmm.
I don't. Yeah.
So I knew with me that things were going on, but I didn't
Mhm,
realize how bad they were.
mhm,
You know, it wasn't so much anybody's fault. It was my own discernment that I was not using. And so I have to take that awareness now
mhm,
and change it completely around. So the next 3 days, it's going to be really quiet around my house and hopefully keep my dogs quiet, but that's normal.
mhm,
But just real quiet and say, okay, I need time for me.
mhm. Did that awareness for you start by you getting like really tired or confused, or how did that awareness sort of come for you?
I was actually upset over a situation.
Okay, so being
That
upset over something.
right,
Okay,
I couldn't change it no matter what I do,
okay.
and
That's
it didn't.
typically what happens to me. I get upset over something,
Hmm.
and I get frustrated because I don't know what to do.
Hmm.
So,
You make it want to make it wrong or right.
yeah, so I keep looping it.
Right. And that's the loop I've been
Yeah.
in. And it's been quite a long loop, I'll tell you that. But you're aware of some of it. But the thing about it is when we get in that loop, we have to finally say, okay, enough.
Mhm,
So today I had released and said, enough. I don't care about that situation no more. Keep it. It's theirs. I don't care no more. I'm not gonna explain what it is, but it doesn't matter anymore. My health is more important. My physical, my emotional state's more important. My mental state's more important. And my spiritual state is more important than any of it. So what has happened to me does not matter anymore. Dr. Brie needs to get herself back together so she can do this job she's been asked to do by the creator.
mhm. You matter. We all
Yes.
matter, but you matter. And so you have to always remember that you matter.
Hmm. And that's the I for today.
Yeah.
So today what I'm doing is taking control of the situation, taking care of myself. And then tomorrow, hopefully things will be better again and do the same routine. And
Mhm,
then the myself the thereafter.
mhm. So you find that's working you through the sort of four body process where you're starting with your physical and your emotional and you're going through the mental and the spiritual.
Right. And then adding this into it.
Yes. Okay.
So that's my new mantra right now.
Mhm.
So I use that every day.
Okay.
So anyway, let's get back down here. So why would a goddess go this far, you think?
I can tell you maybe from my training, because I'm old enough now to have, stepped out of a career and retired out of that. But for me, it was training early on that said you have to be perfect, you have to succeed, you have to win, especially when you're in sort of a male world, which I was often the only female there. But I got hit with that very early on in my life. I started working at a very young age, and it just got reinforced and reinforced. And
Do,
so that's what it was for me. It was that expectation.
do you know when mine hit when I was a child?
Mhm. Yeah, real early on. You better
Very
be
early on.
good, you better be successful.
Yes.
I mean, there's this whole list of things that actually really started in childhood that you sort of carry into a work environment.
Hmm.
And it puts a tremendous pressure on you.
Like with me,
Yeah.
I'd be best radio broadcaster,
Mhm.
best this, best that,
Best at everything.
everything in school, whatever. You have to be the best.
Mhm.
And then you find out you don't have to be the best. You can make mistakes. You can have feelings. And you have to change the whole mindset thought pattern again. So, was being the best really worth it? No.
Not really.
No.
No.
Being yourself, your true, authentic self you are,
Yeah.
is the best thing you do for yourself.
Mhm.
And I'm just saying this for everybody else, to all our listeners right now. It does not matter what you are going through, as long as you're honest with yourself and be true to yourself. That's what's important.
Mhm. And when you try to be so personally perfect, you're hard to be around.
Uh, that's
You can be kind of hard to be around sometimes,
well, that's kind of a catch-22
It can be
situation
a
there.
catch-22. It can. It can. But it can put pressure on people that you don't necessarily need to.
But then again, what about the people around you that's expecting that from you? Turn that around for a second.
Yeah, you can and say,
And
well,
that's what I am seeing a lot of lately,
that's exactly what we see today, I think.
that they have to be perfect.
Oh,
And
there's a
they,
great deal of criticism there if they're not,
correct, correct.
and it's hurtful.
Yes. I've seen the damage happen to people
Mhm.
that I can't talk about, but I'll just say the damage that has happened to someone that because of having to be perfect.
Mhm.
And they don't have to be. We have about a minute left before we take a break, but like this show I should have just called Raw and Real. I'm telling you, today is just the day to do it. The thing is that I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. None of us are. But we wouldn't be on this big schoolhouse if we were. We'll be right back with Teresa and I and the Goddess Emergence. We merge together and merge better. Welcome back, everyone. So, how do we unchain ourselves from all of this? Literally, it's like these beads, they're chained together. How do we break the chain of overextending ourselves? So, Teresa, do you have any idea on that one?
Well, like I said, it starts with an awareness,
Right?
and then it
You're so
starts.
stuck on the awareness. I love
I
it.
am. I'm stuck on awareness because it's really hard to do things if you're not aware of patterns you have.
Right.
And you don't have anybody that's telling you any of this. Where do you go? You stay in that loop sometimes until you're totally exhausted. But
So, if you take yourself out of the
mhm,
loop right now,
right. So I step back and I say, what do I need to do? I always start with the physical to go, okay, is there anything there? And then if there's nothing there, like eating right and doing and maybe some exercises and things, then I'll go into the emotional. What's bugging me there? And then I do some of the tools we're using, clean my filters every day, you know, and those and calling my energy back in when I wake up in the morning and through different kinds of events that might be going on during the day. So those are things I'm learning to do that are making a difference. But the bigger thing, I think for me, slowing down.
okay.
That's the
So,
hardest for me.
Jessica, my producer, where are you?
I'm here.
Okay. So, what about you unchaining from a situation?
So I'm a newbie at this, so I don't have the same tools that you two have. So I usually have to go through the pain and the breakdown and the like emotional fit that I throw, and then I go, whoopsie, whoopsie. Okay,
No,
and
that's
then I have to dysregulate. And usually for me, physically, that's like I have to move my body. So I go
right.
for a run or, even a walk or something to
Hmm.
physically move and move the energy and then remove myself from the physical place that I was in when I was like feeling that. I got to change places.
Okay, so you answered it actually really good. That's breaking the chain.
Yeah. Okay,
So
so
it's not, it's
you
not,
know the song? If
which
you
one?
don't love me now, the chain.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it made me think of that.
Yeah, I love it. You want
That's
to
a
finish
good
singing it
song
for
for
us or
that.
what?
No, no, I'm good.
You're good. So break that chain. So that's not in the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual.
Mhm.
It's just in us.
Mhm.
So when you break that chain, it's a ripple effect out to others that leaves you. They see that. They break their chain to the situation.
Mhm.
They become a spokesperson for that situation.
Mhm.
And like Jessica saying, going for a run, having a fit, yell, whatever we have to do to get it out of us, right? Doesn't mean we have to go yell and scream at other people. We can do it in our own house and let it out, right? My dog's looking at me like crazy. Turn on some, but I was listening to some early today, and it's like, okay, that's making me cry. Okay, I'll take care of it. I need to release it. But here's the thing: is change that no longer help us. So that's one thing. So anyway, and how do we effect of it? How do we finally stop it? Saying I've had enough. I can't do this no more. Not my job for the creator. Just I can't do uh this part of this job for this person any longer, or that person, or whatever. Why is that? You think is because it's time for them to take responsibility of their own journey, their own lifestyle. That's very true. I've done the breakdowns like Jessica's done. I've done the exercise now. I've done the not eating right. I've done all that, right? And then go back to eating right and exercise, do everything I can. But with me, sometimes it will shut me down so hard that I can't move. And when I got that news today, when I woke up knowing what will happen if I don't take this short break and work on me, that broke the chain.
So it's almost a shock to you. Like
Well,
it
yeah, I talked to
wakes
you
you
this
up.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to you this morning about it, and it's like,
Mhm.
I can't believe I woke up with that. Why didn't, no, I didn't. My guides tell me. That was one thing. I was like, why didn't they tell me this is coming?
Mhm.
I get it. In sleep state, I wake up with it.
Sometimes we do.
And I'm told that, yes, I did tell you that.
Mhm.
Then you have to take action right away.
Yeah.
I was in tears over it this morning.
Mhm.
I can't explain it, how it feels to other people. I know what it felt like to me. And so breaking that chain is the most important thing we could do right now.
And
And
sometimes the hardest.
yes, but is it worth every tear? Yes. Is it worth everything I've been through? Yes.
Yeah.
Because I know I did the right thing
Mhm.
in situations. If it's something I didn't do the right thing, and that's another story, that's the mindset pattern.
Mhm.
But things I've been doing that's right, that's causing this effect,
Mhm.
that hurt. It's like, but I wasn't doing nothing wrong. How could this happen to me? Because I allowed the emotional effect of others to get into me so deeply
Mhm.
that I did not care what it was doing to myself without realizing it, making fast judgments.
Moving too fast.
Yes.
Mhm. Okay.
And that's what I mean by judgment, not judgment toward a person, just
Right.
making in my head judgments
Just moving too
of what I should do. I went too fast. Other times I went too slow. There was no balance there because I was so emotionally attached. A lot of us get attached to our clients.
Mhm.
We don't think about that. What happens when we get that attached to a client? I mean, and and we say, okay, we can help this person. What happens when we're doing more of the work than they are? It takes a team. You have to work together. You can't just do it in one part. I could give them the list what to do, but if they don't follow it, there's nothing I can do.
Mhm.
You can do the same thing. Jessica has her own podcast. She can do the same thing.
Mhm.
But if they're not following all this stuff, then what happens? Where's the breakdown that we're not seeing? Where's the balance we're not seeing? We used that old weigh scale the other day, last time I put together, where is the balance?
Mhm.
And that's where I'm having to find the balance in my own life right now.
Mhm.
Um,
Do you find sometimes that when you over nurture, I'll use that term,
mhm.
that sometimes you cross this really thin line and you start becoming the sort of overprotector?
Yes.
And it's very easy to do with family members that are very close, because, especially with children that you're very close to. It's like you just want to sort of do everything for them. It's like, let me do that. I know how to do that for them. And pretty soon they start relying on you and they lose that kind of, independence they have. At
Right.
least
But
that's been my experience with
right,
that.
but what if there's someone that needs that
Mm-hmm.
and you don't let go because you know they need that help from you.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it at all.
No, sometimes you
But
have to back up a little bit and then go back again. And
right.
right. You have to take those little breaks for yourself.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean you give up on anybody.
No.
You learn to take and recognize when you need the breaks.
Right.
That's what I'm learning.
And usually I'm really good at that.
Mm-hmm.
But lately I haven't been so good at it. I will tell you that. It's like, okay, it's like taking my dogs to groomers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know every 8 weeks, each one needs to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Star, Sophia, Hercules, okay? They need to go to groomers every 8 weeks. Same time, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or 10:30 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, different times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That is still one of those patterns
Mm-hmm.
that you put in there. I've got to get that done on this day. But
Mm-hmm.
what if that day something comes up? Then what do? You have to regroup.
Yep.
Okay. I know they have an appointment at 10:30. I have to be at my doctor's appointment at 11. So I'm gonna leave early, drop them off, run to my doctor's, wait for the phone call they're ready, come back and get them. But in that time that they're 3 hours at the groomers, that gives me time to regroup everything
Mm-hmm.
and put myself back into space. So what do you think about that, Jessica? I love having you here today.
I think it's perfect. You nailed it, because I think when we're in service to somebody or a pet or a family member or clients, you don't,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, of course we're going to stop being of service, but we have to
Right,
be able to regroup, reset, shift and change based on all of the needs being considered.
right.
And it's an
You're
interesting puzzle piece.
Yeah, I know. Trish loves putting puzzles together. I'm like going, I can't stand them, but it's like, okay, this is a big puzzle piece. It's right.
Mm-hmm.
We only have a couple minutes left here on this break. Actually, 1 minute left. So when we stop the cause and effect of this nurturing to anyone, I mean, anybody can be doing this. It's not just spiritual leaders and teachers, and it can be uh, a housewife. It can be somebody that works at McDonald's. I'll just use that for example in a restaurant, right? Having to get their order out on time, having to sell product. Let's say people, somebody I know that sells product, right? To stores. They have to get their product out on time. All the stuff that they have to do to make their investors happy. But what happens to that person that's trying to make everybody happy? Yeah, think about that one too. How can we help them without bringing it all into us? And that's real simple. Give them the tools, let them do their part. We do our part. All right, guys, we'll be right back with the Goddess Emergence. We emerge together, emerge better, more with Teresa and I and Jessica. All right, everyone, I want to go into something. The goddesses must learn not to get involved to the point of exhaustion. That is not just about goddesses. This is one of my notes I wrote up. What I want to say is the goddess light is in men and women. A lot of people don't realize that. So when you hear your guide say, a male guide, divine male guide said, God's blessed, there's a reason for it. There's only one other person that used something else, so I can't say that one yet because I don't think I have permission for that. And he's listening, but I'm not going to overstep because I'd love to tell you, but I can't. So why do you think they say God's bless? Just why do you think?
It's a sharing of love would be how
There
I
you
would
go.
describe it. It's a sharing of love.
It is.
How I think about it. And that's how I mean it when I say it.
Right. And that's very true. It's leaving them with a blessing
Mhm.
and love and knowing that I think the most important thing is knowing that they're loved, like I said, of love, but knowing they're loved
Mhm.
is really important. So, get, I see so many people that are just exhausted emotionally.
Mhm.
And I wish I could take it all from them, but we can't do that. But it's like they need to find a part inside them that they could go take a run like Jessica does. Or yesterday I sat in my backyard for a little bit, enjoyed the sunshine, just kept going out there. Today is a little overcasted, but tomorrow's gonna be better again. So every day while we're talking about doing this, every day is going to be different. Every moment can change. So before when I got on the show, I was going, can I even make it through my show? And now I'm feeling like, hey, look what I did. I got 10 minutes left. I accomplished it. I got here, where I was feeling down and out. So that's one thing. Okay, so how can we change the behavior that causes no harm to none of us anymore? What do you think there?
Start with yourself. Don't harm yourself. You're not going to harm others. I mean, really, it always has to start with you. It
Right.
takes a long time to get that too. I mean,
So,
to really believe that.
so I have a question. What do you see if you see someone that's harming themselves that they don't recognize it? What would you do?
It depends on the situation. I would try to be on it for me. I always use myself as an example.
Good.
And I would probably just sort of put my teacher hat on and say, wow, this is what happens to me. I usually always turn it around to something that's happened to me and maybe share something that's very similar and see if there isn't a recognition that they could gain from that. Because sometimes people, they're not in that place of always wanting to be told what to do and how you should act and things like that. So it kind of really depends on if it's a family member or, maybe more somebody you're not as close to.
Mhm.
That's how I tend to do it, but I always want to reach out and help. But sharing, I would share maybe a tool that I use,
Right, right. And then there's sometimes we can't say nothing to
right?
them
Hmm.
except listen.
Yeah. Sometimes
And
I want
and
help.
for me, that's really hard.
It is hard.
It's like I want to let them know that they're okay for who they are and what they're doing, no matter who they are.
Hmm.
You know, um, there's a lot of stuff going over Facebook right now where I can't even look at it.
Hmm.
And not to be rude, but I use Facebook. We all use it, but there's some
Hmm.
stuff that's coming out where it's like, I don't want to see all the negativity. Why can't we
Right.
just see the positiveness of things? No, it's not just Facebook, Instagram, it's all social
It's
media, right?
everywhere.
It's everywhere. The news, TV, that's why I try to stay off where I go to TV and watch this, all the apps of
Hmm.
Netflix or Prime or whatever, right? And so yesterday I was watching The House of David, about
Hmm.
King Saul, and how David took out Goliath and I was like going, man, if I could just take that one and not literally hit somebody that hit the energy of what that person's doing, maybe that will break the cycle and break a chain there.
Hmm.
So I mean that's something silly. It's like, sorry, my earbuds, but it's like if I could just break a chain,
Hmm.
one more chain, just one more chain. That's all I want to break.
Hmm. You break that with Goddess blessing,
You can.
sending a Goddess bless.
Mhm.
Sometimes that's all I can do.
Or let
I'll see something.
or
I'll send
right.
it.
Or for me today was
Hmm.
letting go of a situation.
Hmm.
Let them have what they took. Don't worry about to make it right. I don't care anymore.
Hmm.
That broke the chain.
Hmm. Sometimes it's really getting what matters. What
Mhm.
really matters here.
And what matters to me is the love I carry for people and humanity matters more to me than any monetary amount can ever give me.
Right.
Any amount I've gained, any amount I've lost, it does not matter. What matters is I took control of the situation and gave it away and left it alone now. So when I get off of here in about 6 minutes or whatever we have, um, I can finally say I'll be okay, but I'll take a well-deserved break for a little bit.
Hmm.
So,
And how often have we said love solves everything?
mhm. But I think that when we say that, a lot of people are saying that right now, but really feeling it
And meaning
and,
it.
and meaning it is two different things. And I wish people would understand.
Mhm.
We're not talking about a physical love. We're
No.
talking about spiritual love that's so deep inside of us. I mean, my fist up right now, so deep inside of me that no one can change it.
Right.
You cannot change that spiritual love that you carry for yourself and others.
Mhm.
And when you're nurturing someone, you're putting your heart and soul and everything you got into someone. You don't have to be a goddess. This could be, I know this great friend of mine, and he's under enormous amount of pressure, but has so much love inside of him
Mhm.
that he'd be such an advocate for many.
Mhm.
And that's what I hope for him, that he
Yeah.
can get through his own pressures right now.
And when that love comes out, look out.
No kidding.
It will.
Look out when
That's because we all have that capacity to carry the light.
right.
Yeah.
So it's like you have that big light bulb inside of you, sitting right here in your where your belly button is, your third chakra, right? That's your power center.
Right.
Just take that light bulb up and turn it up to 200, 300 watts, you know, as high as you can, and shine your own light outside of you. And, you know, I've taken my light and shined it out so it's so bright. So it's kind of like yesterday. I got some LED lights that I needed to have put up, right? I thought this little strips would not be that bright. I don't think my rhododendron slept all night. It's so bright. So there can be some adjustments being done to it, but shining that light of that's inside of each one of us that brightly can make a massive amount of change.
Right. And if you don't know what else to do, that's a great thing to do. Hit your reset button and just shine your light. And
Right.
it's doable.
Right.
Anybody, everybody can do that.
You know, the other thing is I know it's like with negative people, smile.
Oh, yeah.
Or laugh. They can't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, is there something wrong with me? Or is there something wrong with them?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say, I laugh at you, right? And you go, what the heck, Brie, are you laughing at me for now?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
It
you're
breaks the
laughing.
chain. It breaks the chain too.
There you go.
Okay.
You broke that chain. So
Yeah.
we have mental left, but breaking that chains on the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and even your own well-being is the most important thing you can do right now. So to all my listeners, I want to thank you all today. I'm sorry the show's been really raw and real, but there's things I'm facing that I have to change. And so I'll be breaking a few chains in the next few days. Until I see you again, God's bless everyone. Know that I love and care about you all. And know that as goddesses, and I'm not just talking female, divine masculine, divine feminine, we merge together and emerge better. I'll see you again soon. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Goddess Emergence Show with Dr. Brie Gibbs. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 2 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com to experience spiritual pathway that addresses your physical health, emotional frequency, mental clarity, and spiritual well-being, all in perfect harmony. This isn't just an ideal. It is the comprehensive nature of the Goddess Emergence Show with Dr. Brie, a spiritual leader, healer, and trance medium who, alongside the Goddess Bell and the Creator, offer messages from the masters never shared or released on the planet. Beyond the show, Dr. Brie offers individual and group sessions at drbriegibbs.com. That's drbriegibbs.com. We hope to see you next time.